Welcome to A Sight for Sore Eyes. I'm Ron. Today we're going to talk about a camera that I've had for quite some time. And I've never used it until yesterday. So yeah, we're going to just go right on ahead and talk about what I've done with it and maybe what I hope I'm going to do with it. So let's get into it. The Argus C44 rangefinder film camera was produced in the years 1956 and 57. A lot of photographers in those days considered it a high-end camera, mainly because it featured interchangeable lenses, which was a rarity back then. And also, I suppose it didn't hurt that it was a handsome camera, depending on your point of view, but it was indeed a handsome camera, especially for those times back then. So this camera that I have, this is my Argus C44 rangefinder camera right here. I paid $5, maybe a little less for it. But that was 1989 when I did that. So since then, it's been just sitting on my shelf or in a box somewhere in the closet. When I bought it, the lens was frozen, stuck. I mean, I don't know if it was frozen or not, but it was stuck. This lever, this right here is what you focused with, and that would not turn at all. And as a result, I figured it was not any good. The camera wasn't any good. I didn't even know back then that you could change lenses on it. So I just set it away and looked at it once in a while. But turns out it's a pretty good camera. So about 2 months ago, I figured out you could take the lens off, so I took it off, and I was trying to loosen it up, and so I put rubbing alcohol, in places on it, and it loosened up. It was getting loosened up, but then the alcohol would dry out, and then it would get real tight again. I kept doing that, and of course, eventually, after a few times of doing that, guess what? Yep, it broke in three. It didn't break. It just came apart into three pieces. Just there they were, three big pieces of lens in my hands. And there was no getting it back together. I called a place to see if they could repair it. And they said, sure, they can repair it. But because it's in three pieces, it's going to cost a lot of money. Turns out it's a fairly rare lens too for this camera. Anyway, so I just put it in the shelf. I couldn't pay upwards of $500 or more to have it fixed up. So I got on eBay, I think it was eBay, and I ordered this 35 millimeter lens that fits on it, and it's in really good shape. So, and it focuses good and everything. So I was real happy about that. It's a f4.5, which I'm not so happy about, but I live with it. So yeah, anyway, I got the camera all running again. And after I got the lens, I realized that, well, and now I got a problem because it's a 35 millimeter lens, and the viewfinder that you compose pictures with here, that's designed for a 50 millimeter lens. So I have no idea. I had no idea when I looked through the viewfinder, I couldn't compose anything because I didn't know how wide a coverage I had, or it was just a mess. So got back on the internet, and I found this right here, this turret viewfinder by Argus. It's an Argus. It came out during the years that this camera and a couple other models were made. So you put this in the shoe mount, the flash mount here, and you can set it for 35, for 50 millimeter, and also for 100 millimeter. I believe that's what the other one is. Anyway, so yeah, you can set it up there, and yeah, it is 100 millimeter. So you set that for, depending on what lens you're using. It looks pretty cool. I think I like it. It's pretty cool, and it works good. Yeah, anyway, so that's what I ended up with right there, and everything functions as it should. Now, there's a lot of reviews on the internet about this camera, the C44, also the C4, and I think there's a C44R, which has, instead of the winding knob here for your film, it's got a little handle on it and some other things. But I was thinking I would do a review and point out all the functions of this and everything, but I'm not going to do that. You can find it all on the internet. There's been a ton of reviews done on this camera. I just wanted to mainly talk about this camera. Now, I told you I got it in 1989. So in those years, I had a print shop. And it was in a little mall here in Wasilla. And on the west side of that print shop, right next to it was a pawn shop, and they always had interesting things on the shelves for sale, so I'd go in there. On the east side, right next to me, was a 1-hour photo shop, and that was pretty handy. I mean, that was real handy. I spent a lot of time and some money there getting my film developed, and that was really nice. I'd just go to work, drop off the film, and she would have it, in a couple hours or less. I could go over and pick it up. And right next to her was an old-fashioned barber shop, and I might put a picture of that. I've got a pretty neat picture. I might put that up here right now. That was right next to the 1-hour photo. And then just the third store down was a Salvation Army store. And I spent a ton of time in there, and I bought old cameras there. That's where I got this, at the Salvation Army in Wasilla, 1989. $5 or less. I can't remember. I picked up a lot of old cameras there, and I still have them. That's where I got a lot of the cameras that I have collected here. Anyway, so yeah, that's how I came by this camera right here. Those were good days. I enjoyed those days. Anyway, so that's how this camera came to be in my hands, and at a purchase price of not very much. So I'm thinking we're going to just quickly, no, we're not. We're going to look at, and then maybe later we'll look at some things on this camera. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to change things around here a little bit, and we'll just see if we can get a close-up of this camera and a few of the controls on it. It's pretty basic. Let me see what I can do here. Hang on. So I'm just going to go through the controls, real briefly with you. So at the top, here we go. This is your winding knob. That's what you advance the film with. This here is the shutter release right here. You'll notice when I turn that the release button rises up, and once you have wound the film all the way, then it self-cocks right there, and you push it down, and it stays down until you wind it again. This is your film counter right here. This one you set, after you get the film in, you set it for the number of exposures that are on your film, and it counts backwards. So you got to remember that. Over here is your rewind when you're through taking your pictures. When you're taking the last shot on your roll of film, you rewind with this. You just lift this knob up here and lock it. It turns, and just lock it up, and then you rewind your film. And I found that it's kind of a funny thing. You really got to be careful, because when I rewound it this morning after I ran a roll of film through it yesterday, it felt like it had already wound up, and I knew it hadn't, because it didn't wind near far enough for all the pictures I took yesterday. So I had to keep working with it, and finally I got it to wind again. You have to listen and kind of feel for the sound when the film comes out of the rewind mechanism. Don't rush to open up the back, because you could. That's what I found this morning. You could ruin your film, because it won't be all the way wound in. So that's just something I noticed this morning. Maybe other cameras aren't like that, but this one sure was. And there's nothing on the sides. However, on the bottom, there is you got the tripod socket here, and this is what you turn to open the bottom. The whole back comes off of this when you put film in it. It's not like the back doesn't open. It just slides off. It's really a simple procedure to change film, but it's a little different. So the only other thing we have is on the front. This is your, like I said before, this one, well, this is your focusing mechanism right here. It's what brings you in focus. And this is your shutter speed dial. It is, what do we got? Not very many shutter speeds. You got a 1/10 of a second, a 25th, a 50th, 100, and 1/300th of a second, and a bulb mode. That's it. I don't know if he stopped in between, say, 25th, a 25th and a 50th, or I'm sorry, a 10th and a 50th, if it would, I don't know if it adjusts for the speeds there or not, or whether it's just either or. But anyway, it's basic, but it works, and you just got to work with it. What else? This also has a on the lens. It's a standard lens. This is your aperture right here. Turn this. This is your aperture. This is a lens hood, but it turns the whole front of the lens for the aperture. Your shutter, your focusing distance is back here. As you focus, it tells you what distance you're focused at. And this lens is not it's feet. So that's about it on this camera. I mean, it is about as basic as you can get. There's no batteries, no batteries. It does have let me pull this off. So it's got a hot shoe here that you can put a flash on, but I don't think today you can get a flash to fit on there, because modern flashes won't fit. I tried it. This hot shoe contact right here sticks up not a long ways, but it sticks up way more than they do nowadays. And so the modern foot on a flash unit today will not go in here because of that that contact right there. In fact, whoever had this camera before I did, it's obvious they had a little more modern flash unit, because these wings were all bent out of shape. And when I put this turret finder on, it was just stopping around there. So I had the right tools to fix it, and so I got a hammer and just that was my right tool, and I pounded each of these wings down a little bit, and then I had to get my other nice tool, which was a pair of pliers, and I had to put it on here and squeeze these together a little bit gently. I did it gently, but now this stays on pretty solid right now. And yeah, so don't expect, if you buy one of these, don't expect your modern flash to fit on this, because I'm almost positive it's not going to fit. So let's talk a little bit about this this cool looking thing right here. It's called a turret finder by Argus, and so each of these little lenses is designed to give you the right, it says perfect composition layout or whatever for whatever lens you're doing. Like I said, it has, you can buy a 35 millimeter, which is what I have here, a 50 millimeter, which is what the camera comes with, or a 100-meter telephoto lens. And so right here on this bracket, that would be at the front. There's a ring here that you turn, and you can put it for either 35, 50, or 100. And so you got to do that when you change lenses. And what that does, when you do that, then when you look through here, you're going to get the right angle of view that your lens that you have on the camera is going to give you. It's really a handy thing. I like it, kind of. Here, this ring here adjusts for parallax. I don't know if you can see this or not, but as you turn it, this will move up and down a little bit. So you set it for what distance. You focus the camera and then look at your lens and see what distance you're focused at, and then change this scale here to that distance. To tell you the truth, it's kind of complicated. There's a lot of steps to take a picture with this camera, and I found that out, and I adjusted my technique a little bit when let's see if I can get this on. This is kind of hard to get on because this little contact spring right here, it's loose, and so you got to push it up when you put this on. I don't know if I can get it going here today. We'll see. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of how it goes right there. Anyway, so that's the camera. So like I said, I've never shot it. Let me get you back so we're looking at each other here. Hold on. So I've had this camera ready to go for quite some time, but our weather's been so bad I haven't really been anxious to go outside and use it too much. And I really wanted to make a video about it. So yesterday was Easter, and we went to my daughter and her husband's house and had a really nice dinner there with the grandkids and my great-granddaughter and Jenny and Randy. It was a nice afternoon. Anyway, I brought that camera with me. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to try to make some 1956 pictures, snapshots of a dinner, Thanksgiving dinner. So I knew it was going to be dark there. I needed pretty high. I needed a higher ASA film than 125. So I had this Ilford HP 5400. It's expired. It was expired. I had it. I think I've had it about 20 years or something like that. Anyway, it was a 36 exposure roll. So I put it in the camera because it's ASA 400, and that's what I used. And I didn't shoot it all over there, but I shot enough. But anyway, so yeah, well, we're going to look at some pictures here that I took yesterday. It was tough. I'll tell you about it after we look at them. But it was fun, and I think I got some pretty good pictures, a couple of them anyway. So yeah, let's go right now and we'll take a look at those, and then I'll come back and yak a little bit more, and then we'll finish up. All right, let's go. Well, there you go. Some good pictures, some snapshots, a couple of good ones, but we had a good time, and good food. Jenny's a good cook, just like her mom. So anyway, so there's a few more pictures. I put every picture. No, wait, there was 2 pictures I didn't put on there, I think, because they were really out. But I had a hard time focusing that camera, and so I just ended up really not focusing too much. I used the zone system on the lens, and it worked pretty good. I mean, if you're not going to go higher than a 3x5 or a 4x6, they're perfectly good. But you know what? I couldn't figure it out because I tried and tried. I practiced focusing with it and everything, and I did not have a good time focusing yesterday. And it wasn't until we got home yesterday evening, actually, that it finally hit me what was going wrong. I can't focus a rangefinder camera, split image rangefinder with these glasses. I knew that. I knew that because I couldn't do it with my Mamiya Universal either. I can't see anything up close with these glasses, and I wore them the whole time over there. It's really Yeah, that was not very smart, and that's why I had such a hard time. And some of these pictures are a little soft. I don't know what I was thinking about, but anyway, now I know. So I guess I should get a new pair of glasses, but why do that? So anyway, yeah, I printed out one, and you might know which one it was. There's one of these pictures that just, oh, it grabs my grandpa heart when I look at it. And I knew it was going to be good when I took it. I tried 3 shots of it, and I knew it was going to be good. The last shot was really pretty good focus on it. So, yeah, let's look at this picture. I printed out, it's 12 by 18 on cold press natural 13 by 19 paper. So here we go. This is, that's my great granddaughter. I have one great grandchild, and that's her. That's Ensley, or she goes by Poozy. And she is posing there with my oldest granddaughter, her Aunt Brittany. And she just such a good poser. Both of them are. I mean, look at the eyes. Look at her eyes, the little one's eyes. I knew when I snapped the shutter on this that I had a pretty good picture here in black and white. Look at that. Anyway, yeah, I'm being a grandpa here. Here we go. Anyway, it came out really good. Printed out really nice on my printer for black and white. So I'm real happy with that. Anyway, so yeah, there's my video. And if you guys have any questions, put them in the comments. I mean, I'm no expert on this camera. It's pretty basic though. And you can still get them, not for $5, but maybe 40, I think. And there's another one, Argus has another one called the C4, and it's basically the same camera, but it doesn't have interchangeable lenses. It comes with a 50 millimeter. But other than that, they're pretty close to the same. A lot of people on the internet have said that their lenses are soft and whatnot, but if you blow them up to 400%, 300, whatever, they're going to be soft, yeah. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that. You guys have a nice week, and I hope to see you next video. And I don't know what it's going to be yet. I have a little idea, but anyway, hit the like if you like this, or comment whatever you want. Well, not whatever you want, but be nice. We'll talk to you guys whenever I come out with the next one, probably a week or so. But take care and stay safe and keep shooting those cameras. Alrighty, bye.